Imagine this, living for 200 years. What would that mean for our lives, our society? Picture a world where the calendar flips over not just once or twice, but twice a century for every individual. Time, as we understand it, gets a whole new perspective, doesn't it? Such a concept, while intriguing, is far from simple. It's like peering into a kaleidoscope where each turn reveals a different pattern, each more complex and fascinating than the last. With every passing decade, the landscape of our existence could transform, reshaping relationships, redefining careers, and recalibrating our use of resources. Let's begin with relationships. Imagine the possibility of getting to know your great-great-great-grandparents, or nurturing a friendship that spans over a century. The phrase, "till death do us part," could have a whole new meaning, and the concept of parenting might evolve in ways we've never considered. And then there's our careers. Retirement? That might be a thing of the past. We could be looking at professions that span centuries, where one could gain immense expertise or even pivot to entirely new professions multiple times. Education would no longer be confined to the early decades of life. Instead, we'd be lifelong learners, continuously adapting to stay relevant. But what about our planet? A significant increase in lifespan could lead to overpopulation challenges, necessitating more effective resource management strategies. Sustainable living practices would become essential to ensure the Earth can support a longer living population. And let's not forget the societal and cultural shifts. Our perspectives on age, the stages of life, and the very structure of our society could undergo significant changes. The milestones we celebrate today, like turning 100, might no longer hold the same significance. As we ponder on this, it's essential to remember that these are not predictions, but mere speculations, a thought experiment, if you will. And while it's exciting to imagine the possibilities, let's not lose sight of the present. After all, as we delve into this fascinating scenario, remember, it's not about the years in your life, but the life in your years. In a 200-year life, relationships would undoubtedly evolve. What would this look like? Imagine the complexity of an extended family tree, where you could possibly share a cup of tea with your great-great-great-grandparents. The bonds that form over such a lifespan could bring new depth to the term intergenerational. Yet the complexities of these extended family dynamics could also create uncharted challenges. Let's not forget marriage and partnerships. The traditional vow, "till death do us part," would take on a whole new level of commitment in a world where we live to be 200. Would we see marriages lasting over a century, or would individuals navigate through multiple significant relationships or marriages throughout their life? The dynamic between commitment and personal growth over such an extended period could redefine our understanding of partnerships. In this hypothetical world, the window for childbearing would likely expand, leading to larger age gaps between siblings and a redefinition of parenting roles. Imagine being an elder sibling with a century of life experience more than your youngest sibling. The societal norms around the right age to have children could shift dramatically, with potential parents having the luxury of time to explore life before embarking on the journey of parenthood. Now, picture your friendships. Lifelong friendships could span over a century, leading to deeper connections and shared experiences. Yet with such a long lifespan, people might also experience more instances of drifting apart and forming new social circles. As interests and life phases change over a longer life, the dynamics of friendships would continue to evolve, offering us the opportunity to learn, grow, and reinvent ourselves multiple times over. And let's not forget the potential for new types of relationships to form. With such a long lifespan, we could see the emergence of mentor-mentee relationships spanning decades, friendships that morph into familial bonds, and partnerships that transcend traditional definitions. In a world where we live for 200 years, the complexity of human relationships could reach new heights. The dynamics of family, marriage, parenthood, and friendships would all be reimagined. With time as a generous ally, we could experience deeper connections, explore diverse life paths, and continually reinvent our relationships. But, as with any change, This new relationship landscape would bring its own set of challenges. The emotional toll of outliving multiple generations, the potential for increased family conflicts, and the complexities of maintaining long-term relationships are just a few of the issues that could arise. Yet, the potential benefits, the deep bonds, the personal growth, the evolving dynamics, could make these complexities worth navigating. After all, relationships are the heart of human experience. And in a world where we live for 200 years, we would have the opportunity to experience this human connection in ways we can only begin to imagine. The complexity of human relationships could reach new heights in a world where we live for 200 years. How would a 200-year lifespan reshape our careers and our approach to education? In a world where we live for 2 centuries, the traditional concept of a career spanning a few decades followed by retirement would be drastically reimagined. Imagine a career path that spans over a century. This extended timeline could allow us to gain unparalleled expertise in our chosen profession. Alternatively, we could pivot to entirely new careers multiple times in our lives, exploring different industries and professions, and continually reinventing ourselves. The phrase "jack of all trades" would take on a whole new meaning. Now let's talk about education. The current model of education, predominantly confined to the early decades of life, would no longer be sufficient or relevant. In a world where technology evolves at a rapid pace, skills that are relevant today might become obsolete in a few decades. Continuous learning would become not just beneficial but essential. Picture this. At the age of 50, you return to school to learn about the latest advancements in AI. At 100, you're back in the classroom studying quantum physics. At 150, you're learning about an entirely new field that doesn't even exist today. Lifelong learning would be the norm, not the exception. The intersection of wisdom and innovation in such a society would be fascinating. Imagine the possibilities when the experience and wisdom of older generations meet the fresh, innovative ideas of the younger ones. This could lead to unprecedented advancements in various fields, propelling humanity forward at an accelerated pace. But how would this impact our work-life balance? With a 200-year lifespan, the way we view work and leisure would evolve. The notion of working continuously for decades before retiring to finally enjoy life might seem archaic. People might opt to take extended sabbaticals, pursue personal interests or passions for a few decades, and then return to the workforce refreshed and ready for new challenges. Our lives could become a tapestry of work and leisure, interwoven in a way that brings fulfillment and balance. In a world of extended lifespans, our approach to careers and education would be less about a linear path and more about a cyclical journey of learning, working, resting, and reinventing. The lines between these stages would blur, creating a fluid, dynamic life trajectory that keeps pace with the ever-evolving world around us. So, in a longer life, our careers and education could become a journey of continuous exploration and reinvention. Such a world holds exciting possibilities, but it also presents new challenges that we must navigate with foresight and adaptability. As we continue to push the boundaries of longevity, it's time to start rethinking our approach to careers and education. It's time to embrace the idea of a lifelong journey of learning, reinvention, and growth. Living for 200 years would have profound implications for our planet and its resources. Life as we know it would need to adjust to accommodate a significantly longer human lifespan. This scenario presents a fascinating conundrum. How do we manage resources and mitigate the environmental impact of a population that lives, works, and consumes for twice as long as it does today? Let's first consider population growth. A dramatic increase in human lifespan could lead to a surge in population numbers, placing enormous pressure on our planet's resources. Everything from food and water to housing and energy would need to be managed more efficiently to accommodate this change. Innovative strategies would be required to prevent resource scarcity and ensure everyone's needs are met. Alongside population growth, sustainability becomes even more crucial. The environmental impact of human activity would be felt over a longer period, intensifying the need for sustainable living practices. Our actions today would have lasting repercussions for generations to come, making it essential to minimize our carbon footprint and protect our planet. Concepts like zero waste, renewable energy, and sustainable farming would need to become the norm rather than the exception. This extended lifespan would also have significant economic implications. Our current economic models are based on a specific life expectancy, which influences everything from employment and productivity to pension schemes and healthcare. With people living and working for a longer period, these models would need to be rethought and revamped. Issues like pension schemes, healthcare, and housing would require major overhauls to accommodate the new reality. And speaking of healthcare, the sector would face a new set of challenges. With people living to be 200, the focus would likely shift from merely prolonging life to extending the healthy, active period of life. Age-related diseases would need to be managed over a longer span, pushing medical research and healthcare systems to new frontiers. The goal would be not just to increase lifespan, but to ensure that these extra years are filled with good health and vitality. In this scenario, our understanding of aging would also need to evolve. We would need to redefine what it means to grow old and how we view the process of aging. The focus would likely shift towards maintaining health, vitality, and quality of life throughout the extended lifespan. In conclusion, a 200-year lifespan presents a host of challenges and opportunities for resource management and environmental impact. It compels us to rethink how we live, work, and interact with our planet. It makes it imperative that we embrace sustainability not just as a trend, but as a way of life. A longer lifespan demands a sustainable approach to living for our sake and the sake of our planet. A 200-year lifespan would inevitably lead to significant societal and cultural shifts. As we journey through this hypothetical scenario, let's consider how our views on age and aging could evolve. In our current society, age carries a lot of weight. It dictates when we go to school, when we retire, and even when we're expected to reach certain life milestones. But with a lifespan of 2 centuries, our perspectives on age might undergo a dramatic transformation. Turning 100 might no longer be a momentous occasion, but rather a midlife celebration. And with age no longer being a reliable indicator of life stage, we might start judging people's maturity and capabilities based on their experiences and accomplishments, rather than their chronological age. Aging, too, might be viewed differently. Today, aging is often seen as a decline, a process associated with loss and deterioration. But in a world where we live to be 200, aging could be viewed as a process of continuous growth and evolution. The stigma surrounding aging could lessen as people remain active and contribute to society for a much longer period. Now let's think about how our social structures might change. The traditional life stages, education, career, retirement, would likely be redefined. Instead of rushing through education in our early years, we might spread it out over several decades, interweaving periods of learning and work. Careers could span over a century, allowing us to explore multiple professions and gain expertise in different fields. And retirement? That could turn into an extended sabbatical, a chance to pursue personal interests or learn new skills before diving back into the workforce. But it's not just about rearranging the existing stages of life. We might see the emergence of entirely new life stages. Imagine a decade-long exploration phase in your mid-hundreds where you travel the world or dive deep into a newfound passion. Or a legacy phase where you spend time passing on your knowledge and wisdom to younger generations. The possibilities are endless. This shift in life stages would inevitably affect societal norms and expectations. The pressure to reach certain milestones by a particular age could lessen. We might see a society that values lifelong growth and exploration rather than rushing towards retirement. And what about our cultural norms? They too would likely evolve. Our stories, our art, our celebrations, all would reflect this extended lifespan. Our cultural narratives might start to glorify the wisdom of the centuries old, and our celebrations might start to honor different life stages and milestones. In a world where we live for 200 years, our society could look vastly different from what we know today. An extended lifespan could reshape our perspectives on age and aging, redefine our social structures, and transform our cultural norms. While this scenario is purely hypothetical, it's a fascinating exploration of how longevity could reshape our world. So, what can we take away from this exploration of a 200-year lifespan? The concept of a 2-century lifetime does more than just tickle our imagination. It unveils a world of possibilities and challenges that could reshape our societal structures. Imagine having the chance to know your great-great-great-grandparents, or having a career that spans over 100 years. It would redefine family dynamics, marriage norms, parenting roles, and even friendships. In the world of work and education, retirement could become a relic of the past, replaced by a cycle of learning, working, and sabbatical breaks. The implications are equally profound for resource management and environmental impact. A longer living population would necessitate sustainable practices and significant economic adjustments. This thought experiment also invites cultural shifts, redefining age milestones and societal norms. While a 200-year lifespan remains a fascinating hypothetical, it prompts us to reflect on the value and potential of the life we have right now. After all, it's not the length but the quality of life that truly matters.